In 2007, we decided to take our first cruise. The attraction was to see many places while moving between them without daily packing and unpacking. The cruise was organized through Queen's alumni. We start with a day in Athens until we got on a bus to get to the ship. From Piraeus, we will travel to Delos and Mykonos, then to Santorini and east to Rhodos, back north to Patmos and then to two Turkish ports, Kusadasi, to explore the extensive Roman ruins at Ephesus and the Church of St. John, and last to Canakkale to see the ancient ruin of the former Troy. For the last leg, we will sail through the Sea of Marmara to end in Istanbul for the flight back to Canada. Le Diamant is leaving Santorini as the sun is setting on the colorful cliffs trimmed with the white houses of the villages. We will travel overnight to the island of Rhodos, next to the Turkish coast. We arrive in Rhodos in the early morning. The island of Rhodes has a long history, starting with the Dorians in 1200 BC. In the Classic and then Hellenistic periods, from the 5th century BC, the Persians and Delians founded the town of Rhodos as a maritime, commercial and cultural center. Alexander the Great conquered Rhodes from the Persians in 332 BC. The island and the town fell under the control of the Romans, then the Byzantines, and in medieval time, around 1309, the Knights of St. John. During that period, the Knights built fortifications and the Palace of the Grand Masters of the Knights, still standing. The pilot and tugs will help us dock safely in the busy harbor. The blue semicircle on the map outlines the fortifications built by the Knights of St. John's in the 1300s. On shore from the ship, we enter the old town through the Marine Gate. Most of the old stone buildings date to the medieval times. In the process of rebuilding through the centuries, some old features have been preserved or renovated in new constructions. Our excellent and knowledgeable guide will be with us all day. Unfortunately, our memories are rather faint. Maritime laws and rules were first implemented in ancient Egypt. The Aegean Institute of Laws of the Sea and Maritime Law was established in 1991. It maintains a specialized library and conducts research in this field. The Palace of the Grand Master of the Knights of St. John was originally built as a Byzantine citadel in the 7th century. It became the administrative center when the Knights occupied Rhodes in 1309 and underwent major modifications and expansion under their rule. It was further altered after the Ottoman conquest in 1552. Our guide takes us through little visited areas where the informal archaeological digging is still progressing, right in old residential areas. She knows the neighborhoods. She takes us through old Jewish quarters and old Muslim areas. For the afternoon, we will be exploring on our own and have a few stops planned. The Archaeological Museum was originally built by the Knights Hospitaliers in 1440 to 1490 as a hospital, restored during World War I occupation by Italy, and turned into a museum after the war. There are many piles of large stone balls in the courtyard. All are old cannonballs retrieved when dredging the harbor over the years. There was not much left of the Temple of Aphrodite, just some stones behind a fence, a marble sign and a marble piece of a carved arch. The fortifications around the gate of St. Paul's were in need of major restoration, but it was amazing to see how well they had restored and maintained so much of it. I remember at the end of the day walking along the docks and the beach under beautiful sunshine, old fishing boats, new pleasure crafts, and our ship Le Diamant waiting for us. From Rhodos, Le Diamant heads west and then north to the island of Patmos. We will be at dockside in the village of Scala in a well-protected bay. In Patmos, we opt out of the day trip to the Cave of the Apocalypse, an 11th century monastery. The Rhodos-like monastery is dedicated to Saint John the Theologian, who is said to have written the book of Revelations in the cave. We can see it from the ship at the top of the hill. Instead, we take a self-guided tour and a walk on the island to a promising beach on the east side. On the walk back, we take a look at the sea on the west side of the island. A rustic old stone barn, shelter for a goat. The beach is deserted, and Nancy has gone in the clear water for a refreshing swim. The volcanic land is generally rugged and dry with scrubby vegetation. All is so peaceful and quiet. On the walk back, we go through some village streets to the west shore. And walk back to the Diamant as the sun is setting behind the mountains. Our next port is Kusadasi in Turkey. A bus will take us to the Greek and Roman ruins of Ephesus and of the Church of St. John, built in the 6th century. Ephesus dates back to about 600 BC, and ruins cover the Greek classical period. Roman rule started around 133 BC, lasting until about the 2nd century. It was a very important commercial center and as such the site of many battles over the centuries. It had a large port with access through a river which silted to the point of being impassable by about 500 AD. It is a bright sunny day and it will be hot walking through the ruins for a few hours. The Odeon Theatre had been a covered theatre seating about 1,500, built in 150 AD. There are many impressive ruins, and our memories can only identify a few of them with help from the web. At its peak, Ephesus had been the second largest city in the Roman Empire. The ruins are still being excavated and history of its evolution revealed. Many ancient houses have been discovered on the site. A large sewer system had been used and fresh water had been piped through clay pipes. The frieze of Flying Nike. Our guide has done his research. Nike symbolizes speed, strength, and victory. In 1971, the shoe company was rebranding under its new name. Caroline Davidson, a graphic student at Portland State University, was paid $35 for the swoosh design based on the goddess's wing. The extent of this ancient city is truly breathtaking. The Fountain of Trajan, built about 150 AD, a monumental facade and a large pool behind it. Trajan was a respected Roman emperor. His famous quote, "If I fulfill my duties, use it for me. If I fail, against me." The mosaic-paved sidewalk next to the main marble-paved chariot road are testament to the wealth of the city and the skill of its artisans. The hillsides next to the road are still being excavated. They mostly seem to consist of the houses where people lived, worked, and shopped. The Temple of Hadrian, built in 138 AD, is one of the best preserved structures. Emperor Hadrian was a cousin of Trajan. A public washroom. Library of Celsus was built around 125 AD. It was one of the most impressive buildings in the Roman Empire. It was the repository of over 12,000 scrolls. Only the huge facade remains. It was situated in the middle of the city, next to the commercial agora. We leave the site through the gates of Mazius and Mithridates, attached to the library. On the way back to the bus on the main road of the ancient city, we go by the Great Theatre, a well-preserved marble structure which seated some 25,000 people. Considered one of the largest theaters of the ancient world. It is 145 meters in diameter and 30 meters high, built on the slope of Mount Pion and facing the former harbor. From Ephesus, we go to the ruins of the Church of St. John, built about 500 AD by the Emperor Justinian. It is also called the Basilica of St. John. It is on the site where St. John the Apostle is said to have been buried. It has been a very long morning in a hot sun. A dog has found some shade to have a nap. After lunch, back at the ship, we stroll through the docks to the remarkable fish market. We are overwhelmed by the heat and the smell. From Kusadasi, the Diamant sails north to Canakkale to visit the site of the former ancient Troy. The weather has changed. From sunny and hot, it is very cloudy with threatening rain and a lot cooler. Very humid as Le Diamant arrives in Canakkale. we will take a bus to the site of the ancient city of Troy. As excavating continues, archaeologists have developed a picture of the evolution of Troy. From about 2920 to 2500 BC, the large diagram is what is believed to have been from 1800 to 1250 BC. The Roman period from 85 BC to about 500 AD. The rain has caught up with us for the day. The old ruins are harder to visualize in the rain, and we do not remember much of these ruins. For the afternoon, we have a bus ride through the city of Canakkale. A Trojan horse, used in a 2004 movie, was gifted to the city by Warner Brothers, where it is displayed as a major tourist attraction. The cruise will terminate with our arrival in Istanbul to catch the flight back home. Leaving Canakkale in the early afternoon, we will cruise through the Dardanelles Strait and cross the Sea of Marmara to arrive in Istanbul in the middle of the night. As we lose the protection of the land, the winds pick up and the Sea of Marmara gets rough. It is still night when we reach Istanbul, and we only see the light of the famous Blue Mosque during the drive to the airport.